It began with a scream. Not a human one, but the tearing of a planet's sky as the ships of the Carth Dominion descended on New Carthage, humanity's most remote and peaceful colony. New Carthage wasn't a fortress. It wasn't a military outpost. It was an art world, a settlement of painters, composers, and historians who chronicled humanity's rebirth among the stars. They had no orbital defenses, no standing fleet. They had believed the Dominion's trade guarantees, believed in the Council's protection. The Carth flagship Vascor descended through the clouds, its crimson hull glinting in the light of two suns. Admiral Shurak of the Dominion looked down at the cities beneath him, marble towers, mirrored seas, and the silver spires of a human culture in bloom, and sneered. "The humans have grown complacent," he said to his bridge crew. "They think themselves our equals. Let this world remind them what they truly are." He gave the order. From orbit, plasma lances fell like the wrath of old gods. The oceans boiled, the towers shattered. In less than 12 minutes, 1.7 million human civilians were vaporized. The colony's distress beacon, a final, desperate call, reached the Solnet before the signal was drowned in static. The Carth fleet turned away, their work done, their comm channels filled with laughter. The admiral toasted the destruction with his officers. "Earth," he said, raising a chalice of violet firewine, "is finished. Their colonies are scattered. Their fleets are weak. The Council has forbidden them from war. They are no longer a threat. No human ships pursued them. No vengeance followed. Only silence, long, deep, and unsettling." The galaxy mistook that silence for surrender. The mockery of the Council in the gleaming chamber of the Galactic Council. The Dominion's representatives stood tall, their armor polished, their arrogance radiant. The incident on New Carthage was brought before the Council. Not as a tragedy, but as a lesson. Human envoys stood in the center of the chamber, faces pale, voices trembling. They demanded justice. They demanded recognition of the massacre. The Council Chancellor, a vast crystalline being of the Thrale species, simply waved a translucent limb. "Earth has overreached," it intoned. "Their colonies extend beyond their charter. The Dominion has acted within reason." The human envoy clenched his fists. "Within reason? You call a massacre reason?" The chamber echoed with laughter from the alien delegations. The Truan, the Katek, the Alethi, all species that had once feared humanity during the first expansion, now saw only weakness. The humans had laid down their ancient war machines. They had joined the Council, signed its accords, and accepted peace. Peace had made them prey. When the session ended, the Council voted. By a margin of 241 to 3, Earth was declared a destabilizing power, restricted, monitored, finished. As the humans left the chamber, Admiral Shurak leaned close to a fellow Dominion officer. "They should thank us," he sneered. "We ended their pretensions before they forgot their place." The galaxy laughed with him, and Earth said nothing. The stillness before the storm weeks passed. Then months. Trade routes to Sol fell silent. Human envoys stopped attending council sessions. No ships moved in or out of the Terran sectors. Satellites at the edges of human space detected nothing. The entire cradle of humanity went dark, a black void in the midst of a bustling galaxy. The Council took it as proof of their victory. The Dominion declared a day of triumph. Other races followed suit, seizing human trade lanes, confiscating colonies, dividing what remained of Earth's influence like carrion birds at a feast. Only a few noticed the small details, quiet vanishings in the deep void. An entire Katek convoy disappeared near the Perseus Reach. A Thrale mining moon ceased transmitting. Outlying Dominion patrols reported ghost signatures, vast, gravitational shadows drifting in the dark, just beyond sensor range. But the reports were dismissed. Ghosts, they said. Human tricks, nothing more. Until the message arrived, it came across every known frequency, in every major tongue. A human voice, calm and cold. "You declared Earth finished. You were mistaken." The signal ended there. Across the galaxy, silence fell. And in that silence, the stars began to move. When Earth awoke, they came from Sol like a rising storm. At first, the long-range sensors couldn't comprehend it. an entire fleet emerging, not from jump gates or warp conduits, but from newly awakened dark space arrays buried in Sol's Oort halo. Thousands of hulls lit the void, black ships, angular and cold, bearing no council transponder codes. Humanity had not been idle during their silence. They had been preparing. The Vigilant Dawn, Earth's first true dreadnought in centuries, led the armada. Its hull shimmered with reactive armor fields, capable of reflecting plasma fire. Around it, carrier swarms unfolded wings of autonomous strike craft, hunter drones shaped like shards of night. Every human fleet that had been disbanded by council decree had simply gone into shadow, merged under the Earth Defense Directorate. A network of hidden shipyards buried in asteroids, moons, and forgotten orbital shells. When the first human transmission reached the Dominion's forward sector, it contained no threats, no diplomacy. Only a single phrase. This is not a war. This is correction. Then came the silence. Then came hell. The Hammer of Sol. The Dominion's border fleets were the first to vanish. Human stealth cruisers, invisible to known detection grids, entered their systems, shut down their communications, and crippled their warp relays. Entire planets found themselves cut off, their skies darkened by shadowy shapes descending silently. On the third day, the Dominion's capital moon of Varesh was bombarded. No plasma, no radiation, just tungsten rods accelerated to near light speed. Each impact flattened cities and melted continents. Billions died before the Dominion could even raise its shields. The humans didn't demand surrender. They didn't broadcast ultimatums. They simply advanced, methodical, cold, unstoppable. Every Dominion fleet sent against them vanished. Their admirals begged the Council for aid, screaming across the commnet. The Council convened emergency sessions, debating protocols, peace treaties, and intervention clauses. And then the human representative returned. A woman named Commander Imani Vale, the same envoy who had once stood in the chamber and begged for justice, walked into the council hall wearing black armor bearing no insignia. The council erupted in confusion. "Commander Vale," the chancellor demanded, "what is the meaning of these attacks?" She regarded them in silence. Then, she placed a small device on the floor. It projected an image. New Carthage, before and after the Dominion's strike. The beauty, the annihilation, the silence. "This," she said, "is the meaning." She turned, walked out, and left the device behind. When it detonated, it didn't kill anyone. It simply broadcast a message to every corner of the galaxy, on every frequency. Earth has no more councils. Earth has no more overseers. Judgment has begun. The galaxy trembles. The time the Council attempted to organize a defense, human fleets had already split across 100 systems. Their ships didn't announce themselves. They appeared from nothing, struck with impossible precision, and vanished again. Dominion shipyards were atomized. Council relay stations were converted into traps. The Thrail crystalline fleets, long considered indestructible, were shattered by weaponized gravitational pulses. Human soldiers landed on K-Tech strongholds, wearing silent, expressionless exosuits, black armor that absorbed energy and reflected the battlefield lights like glass. The aliens tried to communicate, to surrender, to plead. The humans said nothing. They simply advanced. For every human life lost on New Carthage, 1,000 alien lives were claimed. For every city burned, an empire fell. The revenge was not wild rage. It was deliberate, mathematical. Humanity had become the equation that balanced itself with fire. Whole star systems went dark. Planets burned until even their names were forgotten. The Dominion's last message to the Council was a scream, a desperate plea for aid that cut off mid-sentence. The Council realized too late that their laws had protected the wrong side. The fall of the Council. The Council's homeworld, Asaran Prime, had never been touched by war. It was a world of light, floating citadels, seas of glass, and spires of gold. For 10,000 years, it had stood as the heart of the galaxy's order. The humans arrived in silence. Their fleet didn't announce its presence. It simply appeared in orbit, a ring of steel and shadow blotting out the world's twin suns. Council defense grids lit up, targeting the ships, but their weapons failed. Earth had jammed them before they even charged. From orbit, a transmission echoed across the Council network. "This is the reckoning. You declared Earth finished. You were wrong." Then, the bombardment began. It wasn't chaotic destruction. It was surgical annihilation. The Council chambers were vaporized first, the symbol of arrogance reduced to ash. The planetary defense towers followed. Finally, the orbital citadels crumbled, falling like dying stars into the oceans below. In a matter of hours, the galaxy's supreme government ceased to exist. The fleets that had once enforced its will drifted powerless, leaderless, terrified. The humans didn't occupy Asaran Prime. They didn't raise a flag. They simply left. Behind them, the sky burned. Aftermath, the silence of the stars. Weeks later, the galaxy was quiet. No trade routes buzzed. No council orders were issued. No Dominion warships patrolled the lanes. Where once there had been noise, the chatter of politics, commerce, and pride, there was only stillness. The surviving races gathered.